Okay, are we ready?
Ready?
My eyes are.
Places!
Places.
Hello, ATA! That's right, folks, it's me, Walt Disney!
Thank you for coming.
Áine, and now the little lady here has a couple of content warnings for you all, so listen up, please, even at the back. Go ahead.
Content awareness, mentions of death, discussion of misogyny,
Made up word.
discussion of family issues, and there's a use of a high-pitched noise, which is a sound muffler effect. On that note, I welcome you all in.
Come on in! Hey! Please, folks, take a photograph. Take a photograph. Don't last long. Take a photograph. Let a photograph of you. There you go. A photograph. Take a seat there. Lovely family photograph. Please don't all available speech, folks. Come on now. There we go. Come on.
I want to sit back here.
Please. Takes out a cigarette, lights the cigarette, smokes. I am Walt Disney. This is a screenplay I wrote. It's about me. Fade in on me, fade in on me, fade in on Walt. Walt in a room, fade in on Walt, fade in on Walt. Walt is good, Walt is doing good, looking good for his age or no age, looking good. Walt is quick and fast and sharp and quick and rich and loved. And richer than he's ever been and more loved than he's ever been. And he is doing good. And he can have anything he wants. Fading on Walt. Where? Walt! In a room! Interior day. Walt in room with Roy. And the camera cuts to Walt's brother Roy standing to his left. Walt in room with Roy to left, interior day, or night and day. What room? Doesn't matter what room, all kinds of rooms, and all sorts of times, and all sorts of places, and cut the music!
Hello ATA, my name is Harriett, and welcome to my contemporary scene, a public reading of an unproduced screenplay about the death of Walt Disney. Now, considering I've only got 15 minutes for my commentary, I will not be saying the full title of the play, just a public reading. A public reading by American playwright Hnath is a show in the form of a screenplay written and performed by Walt Disney about himself. The play is set around Walt and his family. It follows his last days leading up to his death in 1966 and how his legacy is going to change the world. Hnath's play first premiered at the Soho Rep in 2013 and was later produced at the Wilbury Theatre Group in New England in November 2014. A public reading was one of his earlier plays before winning the Obie Award for Excellence in Playwriting for his later successes like Red Speedo and The Christians. Growing up in Orlando, Florida, Hnath would have been no stranger to the beloved figure, Walt Disney. However, in a public reading, Hnath chooses to write a blackly comic version of the public Disney persona, as stated by the New York Times. Hnath explores Walt Disney's disconnect between image and reality. After reading the play, I noticed it touches on a lot of themes involving societal expectation of masculinity and the effects this may have on fatherhood. This made me question if the Walt Disney we knew was really the beloved figure the way he's advertised. This led me to my thesis. I will be exploring how Hnath is unmasking Walt Disney's public persona as a beloved figure through a close look at his misaligned performance of masculinity and fatherhood. In the prologue, Walt introduces himself and his screenplay. In just a short monologue, Hnath is already beginning to dissect a sense of Walt's ego when he says, "I'm Walt Disney. This is a screenplay I wrote. It's about me." The irony of this is that Walt Disney was actually described in real life as a shy and self-deprecating man, which made him insecure, creating the warm and outgoing persona he advertised himself as. Walt Disney, born in December 1901 in Chicago, Illinois, was an American motion picture producer and showman. Famous for his cartoon creations like Mickey Mouse, he founded the Walt Disney Animation Company in 1923 and quickly became one of the world's most famous entertainment figures. Disney became the public face of the brand he built, advertising his image through television productions, theme parks like Disneyland, and even hosting promotional documentaries such as Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. With this, Walt became a humble man and father figure for families across America. Here, the nickname Uncle Walt was also adopted into Disney's advertisement of himself. I have chosen to present the high extent of Walt Disney's advertising through my use of production design, plastering posters with my actor's face on around the set. Hnath writes a public reading at the end of Walt's life when he is in a stage of heavy smoking and knows he's dying of lung cancer. This drove him to extremism in his projects and personal life. Through his own insecurity about the legacy he built being lost, Walt's expectations of his staff and the people around him grew, revealing an uncaring husband, father, and boss. It was in his private life that most of the unmasking of Disney's persona emerged. In fact, Disney himself felt trapped by his creation and public image. He once complained, "I'm not Walt Disney anymore. Walt Disney is a thing. It's grown to be a whole different meaning than just one man." Hnath explores this through his dramatized formatting of a public reading, leaving much to the audience's imagination. Through doing this, Hnath writes Walt to be the one controlling the narrative, yet when his character is exposed to his own masculine insecurities and failed attempts to be a caring father, this begins to fade. Many of Hnath's plays tend to revolve around famous figures, yet these are not written to be stage biopics. Early in Hnath's career, his works such as Isaac's Eye and Hillary and Clinton center around figures like Isaac Newton and Bill and Hillary Clinton. But rather than telling these as biographical stories, Hnath fashions his own playwriting style that deconstructs the way their lives are usually told. Hnath's interests lie in the nature of the biographical telling of Walt's life, rather than in the tale itself. The Los Angeles Times says, "A public reading is not a place to learn about Walt Disney," and I think Hnath makes us question which version of him will ultimately prevail. Hnath's artistic choices, like the use of scripts on stage, shows this divide between audience imagination and gripping reality. This is embedded with experimental comedy, whilst also creating a hard-hitting tone for the more social issues caused by Walt as a boss and father. Hnath shows that even though Walt's creations have delighted families across America, his insecure masculinity and lack of fatherhood still casts a grey cloud over his own family. In this next scene, Walt takes you to his office, where he and Roy, his brother, are talking about the future of the Disney company. Please enjoy my first scene.
Awful late.
Interior night.
Middle
working.
of the night.
Thought you'd be asleep.
Having trouble.
Sleeping.
Just can't seem to.
Interior work office. Follow me, Roy, and close on Walt and close on Roy.
Doctor.
So in the other.
You're
No,
having...
just back problems, neck and shoulder. Doctor said it's some kind of calcification. Gave me pills. I'm taking pills. Pain pills. Pills help a little. Not much. Pills, pain, drink a little alcohol, smoke. Pills, pain. Cut two, and the wife says.
How is she?
Shouldn't work so much, she said.
Haven't seen.
She travels.
Okay.
Visiting relatives.
Nice. Must be
Not really.
kind of lonely.
No, just. Cut two, and your kid.
Yeah.
Your kid just graduated from what's it called again?
Pomona College.
Sure, be a good thing for him to do. Good place to start up.
Sure would appreciate.
Let him maybe put his name on as producer of these here little nature documentaries. Maybe it could be his little thing, maybe our little thing. Him and me and you, and him and me and you. Our little family thing.
Nice.
No women allowed, though. And you?
Find out
Oh,
some
you
kids.
worry about that.
I could.
Find people and show them the.
Could be challenging.
Don't care.
Distribution.
Don't bother me about it.
You people aren't interested in documentaries like they
Just
are cartoons.
slap my name on it.
Sure, but
My name goes a long way, don't you
no,
know?
I know.
And we
It's
cut
just-
to exterior, parking lot. Lots of people standing outside with signs looking mad. Shit!
Lots of
People.
wanting more money is all.
Who?
Artists, animators, some writers, people who draw, people who ink.
Work for me.
Sure.
Leaving? No.
Striking.
Shit!
Can be fixed.
People leave and people left.
Taking it personally.
What am I supposed to do?
Hard to admit one's wrong.
I did nothing wrong.
Not to say you did.
I worked so hard.
Everyone works very
No, but
hard.
me, more than anyone. I worked so hard.
I know.
You'll leave me.
No.
You abandon me.
No.
Grow tired of me.
No.
Weary.
No.
Weary of Walt.
No.
No, I know. I'm difficult. I know.
This brother.
I'm wrong?
It means.
No.
It means.
No, 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 no. You say you were wrong. You say you were the wrong one. You say you were the problem. You say it was your fault. You say you were the one standing in my way. You say I wanted to give them more money, but you wouldn't let me. And now you...
It's not really what I
Because
was.
I'm Walt and you're Roy. And being Walt means something different than being Roy.
How?
And being Walt means...
What?
Lots of things.
You mean...
Depend on my name.
So?
You disagree? You think your name means what my name means? You think your name is worth what my name is worth? You think that people depend on your...
No.
You disagree?
No.
You agree!
I think...
You know, people actually name their kids after me.
I see.
Sign of affection.
That's nice.
All the time it happens. You know, one day, my daughter's gonna name her children after me too.
Okay.
But that's not a big deal. Other people I don't even know, they name their kids after me, which I think is really...
Nice.
If you really care about me, if you really appreciate everything I've done, and haven't I? Haven't I done so much for you?
Yes.
What would you have without me? Where would you be? What would you have?
Wouldn't have much, I guess.
You'd work in a factory
No.
or insurance.
Sure.
You could never be a doctor.
Well...
Grades weren't good enough. Didn't have the right kind of brain.
Different type
Don't
of...
you appreciate
I do,
and care about me
I do,
and like me?
Sure.
I'm your brother. I've done so much for you.
Okay.
You take the blame. You say it was your fault.
Okay.
You take the blame.
Okay.
Fix it. Don't ask for much, Roy. Don't need it.
Okay.
But don't I deserve it?
You really...
Tattoo!
Walt and Roy bicker over the running of the Disney company, with many of the conversations being aimed at belittling Roy. Through this, there is a clear sense of masculine insecurity from Walt with the performative nature he puts on when he's around his brother. But how is the term masculinity defined? The National Demographic Institute clarifies, the term masculinity refers to the roles, behaviours and attributes that are considered appropriate for boys and men in a given society. Men in the 60s were typically the breadwinners, a term referring to the family member, typically the husband, who earned the primary income to support the household. This concept was tied to the traditional gender roles of the time, where the husband was the sole breadwinner. In the 1960s, this idea of masculinity also would have meant reinforced expectations and practices based on a specific gender, such as women not being taken seriously in titled job roles. In a public reading, Hnath shows this when Walt is talking to Roy about hiring a producer. But even when he says it'll be their little family thing, by saying, no women allowed, he reinforces the idea of patriarchal masculinity, a term used to emphasize the superiority and authority of men over women. Walt Disney Productions employed many women in the ink and paint department beginning in 1923 and into the 1960s, with up to 100 young women working long hours to outline and colour animators' original drawings. However, women were not welcomed in the major creative departments. A rejection letter mailed to any woman who applied for a job at Walt Disney's animation department stated, "Women do not do any of the creative work in connection with preparing the cartoons for the screen, as that work is performed entirely by young men." While the idea of feminism existed with women being able to work for Disney, there's still the question as to why this was occurring. A woman named Grace Huntington had an interview with Walt after applying to work in the animation and story department. She did not receive a rejection letter, but claims Walt did bluntly state, "It's difficult for a woman to fit in this work. The men will resent you. If you are easily shocked or hurt, it's just going to be too bad." Walt had indirectly created an environment in which men felt they had power over the women. Even though this play is set in the 60s, I want to highlight this is still an issue that is happening today. From a recent statistic in 2023, men are 34% more likely than women to be employed in top jobs, with overconfidence explaining up to 11% of the gender gap. Hnath has successfully taken Walt Disney's overconfidence in his title as head of the company to imply power being seen as masculine. Essentially, Hnath is responding to societal issues that has been and still is occurring across America. In 2013, when Hnath wrote the play, studies indicated that men held a disproportionate amount of power in working professions despite decreasing numbers of men in the field. This state of masculine hierarchy causes Walt to become heavily reliant on his older brother Roy, which you'll have noticed during this scene. Walt hated being told no, and many of his ideas were risky, with some people even seeing them as ridiculous. Roy, being in charge of the company's finances, was often put in the position of pushing back on Walt's ambition, which puts a constant strain on their relationship. Hnath chooses to dramatise their relationship, to represent a variety of masculinities, such as power and hierarchy, with Walt pressuring Roy into taking the blame for a majority of issues within the company. Hnath dramatises masculinity in a way that highlights Walt's overconfidence and idea of hierarchy within not only the workplace, but with his own brother. I have shown this with Walt's desk being noticeably a lot bigger than Roy's desk, along with the quality of their name plaques. Also through Walt's physical interactions with Roy, crowding over the top of him as he sat in Walt's chair at the end of the scene. Hnath's most effective intention is having Walt's character run the reading, wanting the script to put him in a flattering light. Walt tries to influence the script through cuts and close-ups. Hnath's writing cleverly constructs his scenes in sentence fragments, with this scene being rapidly performed back and forth between Walt and Roy. When Walt has made his point, he announces, "Cut to move on to the next scene. Walt intends to have the power within the narrative of not just the script, but also the narrative of his life. With the reputation Walt has built for himself, the public have elevated Walt Disney to be perfect. Hnath plays with how Walt feels about his own reputation, making sure his views continue when he's gone, such as men taking over higher job roles, children being named after him, and even suggesting the idea of being cryogenically frozen so he could live again in the future. The rumour of Walt being frozen, however, was just a legend created by the public after he died in December of 1966. Due to Walt's created legacy, this wave of rumours was the public's explanation as to why he suddenly became so secretive towards the end of his life, with the location of his burial not being released to his fans. But Hnath heavily plays with this myth, making the themes of disconnect between image and reality even more dramatised. Here, Hnath allows the audience to question this presentation of Walt from what the public has seen of him in advertisement to the juxtaposed way Hnath presents him as a male boss in the workplace. With men in the 60s being characterised and expected to follow traditional masculine gender norms, this made Walt more likeable towards the public. Yet Hnath exposes the lesser-known layers underneath Walt's public persona by misaligning the border between the imagined Walt Disney, a perfect, humble father, and the existing Walt Disney, a man following masculine expectations, impacting his relationships with his brother and daughter. This next scene involves Walt and the rest of his family. This scene is called The Son-in-Law, where Walt is being introduced to his son-in-law. Enjoy my next scene.
Interior day!
Looked up to.
Close on Ron.
Watched all the
Close on
movies.
Ron, son-in-law
What do
Ron.
I know?
Close on Ron's teeth.
Football.
I can tell he doesn't
Made me
floss.
the man that I
Do you
am.
know his life expectancy?
So many things. Teamwork.
I floss and brush regularly, of course.
Discipline. Get up every morning. 4 a.m.
Extend the life by
Running and swimming. Little weights.
4 or 5 years.
Your daughter, best thing ever.
Do you know vodka actually thins blood?
Adds another perspective.
It's good for the heart, too.
Unique for seeing the world.
Dumbass.
Responsibility.
Hey, pass me a hang.
Being a husband. Being a father. See life differently.
When?
Felt so needed.
By who?
By her.
Your wife.
Your daughter.
Cut to daughter. Close on Walt's daughter. Walt's daughter all grown up. Daddy's little girl. Such a good little girl. Such a smart little girl. A tough little girl. And Walt, he's the apple of her eye. He's her hero, her.
Dad.
And Walt says, yeah. And daughter says,
Ron really just
what?
wants to take better care of
Who?
me.
You?
Let's be honest.
Okay.
You don't like him.
Who?
Ron. You don't. He's
He's
not much like you, except sometimes, but mostly he thinks differently. And I know you don't like men who play sports, and I know you don't like men who are bigger than you, and I know you don't. You're just a little intimidated by him, that's all. But, you know, you should get over that, because he's really good to me, and I know you want me to be with someone who's good for me, right?
But he's
Don't I deserve?
trying to sneak in, trying to get in, trying to take over.
No, I really
Wants to be my successor, take over the business. I mean,
wanted a job. I'd do anything I could
take
to let me.
over. Roy takes over. Anything happens to me, Roy takes over.
Dad,
You need to.
maybe just
No, he's got no experience.
Teach me how to do what you do.
There's no way to do that.
Better position to.
You don't, I will.
I want to.
Making it my responsibility.
Trying to make the news.
Because
Another boy on the way.
boy. Gonna name that boy? How?
I don't.
Of course you. How come you never named any of your kids after me? I mean, what's up with that?
I don't know.
Just wondering why.
Not
Seems odd, seems strange.
Doesn't really matter.
Name your kid after me!
No.
You have 2 boys, and not one of them is named after me.
No.
Seems...
Not important.
Then tell me, if not me, what are you going to name the kid?
We don't have a name.
Oh, bullshit.
Haven't thought about
Bullshit. Ron, tell me the name.
There's no name.
Didn't ask you, ask Ron. Ron, answer the question. Roy.
Had nothing to do with this. Please don't put me in the middle of
Why
this.
him and not me?
He's just done so much.
Please don't put me in the
If
middle.
you don't name this kid Walt,
Threatening me.
oh, I wouldn't call it a friend. You get nothing! None of my money, none of what I own. You get nothing. Other family will get everything. You're being left out. Do you want to be left out? Husband, unemployed, no skills. Can't do shit, shit for brains. All muscle. I can throw a ball. What good is that? What good is that? Not so good.
I think it's a good idea to name my kid the name that you're named.
Why? Why? Come on, answer the...
Because when I say your name, I think all sorts of things I don't want to think. And when I say your name, I think of you and the way you act and the way you yell and the way you throw a tantrum at my wedding. And you're picking people. And when I think of you and the way you yell and the way you fire people and the way you force people to do what you want them to do. And I know about what you did to Roy.
Oh, please don't.
How can you? You walked into his office.
Mostly,
and
Miss
you
Whitehead.
I really do.
When I say your name, I get angry and I get sad and I get scared. And when I say your name, I think of you. And if I name my kid the name that you're named, anytime I say his name, I'll think about the ways I feel about you. And the kid will see that, and the kid will feel that, and the kid will feel like I feel those ways towards him. And over time, he'll feel bad and sad and maybe even scared, and he'll feel like I feel the ways I feel about you. And when he grows up, he'll be really fucked up. And when he grows up, he'll think I like his brothers better than him. Because naming him the name that you're named...
Music! Just Walt and Roy, somewhere high in the air, looking down at Earth, singing, spinning around down below, high in the sky, a bar, interior bar. Vodka, pour some.
So in rehearsal, I've been referring to it as the Disney family dinner. You'll have noticed in this scene, Walt doesn't refer to his daughter by name, just daughter, which is what the playwright has also named her in the script. We can see Walt has his own view of how he acts as a father compared to his daughter, playing into whether his idea of fatherhood is genuine or just constructed from society's expectations at the time. But how is the term fatherhood defined? The Los Angeles County Department of Mental Health clarifies. The term fatherhood is an inclusive and multi-faced role that extends beyond biological ties. For fathers, the act of being present and engaged with their children enhances physical and mental health. With increased self-esteem, this involvement encourages them to embrace healthier expressions of masculinity, ultimately enriching their own lives and the lives of their children. In American households during the 60s, fathers were often seen as the ultimate authority. However, with the shift of social norms for women and children at the time, this was starting to be challenged. The cultural and political changes of this decade began to confront the traditional separation of how fathers were viewed in the public compared to their private lives. Walt was a devoted father who cherished his daughters Sharon and Diane, the daughter we see in a public reading. While he spoiled them, he also maintained a sense of discipline. As Walt grew into manhood, Hnath shows how the sociological stresses of his work life changed this family dynamic. In 1956, Diane was interviewed by journalist Peter Martin, where she shared what her father was like at home. We'd get into hysterics at the dinner table. Diane describes how her father would crack jokes, but quickly switched to anger if discussions continued not to swing in his favour. In this scene, Hnath focuses on filtering the Disney dynamic from the perfect family led by the perfect father to a real depiction of fatherhood in the 60s. The combination of what historically happened with the fiction of Hnath's writing plays on the audience's initial view of this famous father. Hnath's technique of formatting the script in a continuous chaos of cut to is most successful during this last scene. Walt's intentions begin to slip, showing him desperately attempting to control the conversation between him and his daughter as she becomes more reluctant of her father. In 2018, a public reading was produced in Australia by MKA Theatre, and this time starred the Manderson-Galvin family, who were all related in real life. Having a real family portray these characters, I would argue, creates a more authentic dynamic for the Disney family, allowing Hnath's themes of misaligned performances of men and fathers to become even more truthful, being left with reviews by the Melbourne Critic and the 8% to say, "The presence of this living, breathing family is undeniable. Never has it felt so believable in Hnath's script." Towards the end of a public reading, Walt is close to death and sat in his "no one knows where I am" secret hospital. In his final scene, his family attempt to mend their relationships with him, hoping for Walt to do the same. He doesn't. For Walt, storytelling was an escape from the problems in his own life, such as sustaining his masculine role in the workplace and as a breadwinner father. Going back to the same interview of Diane Disney Miller, she also says, "There came a time when Daddy said that we left him." This calls back to the definition of fatherhood, with Walt struggling to embrace healthier expressions of masculinity and no longer being present and engaged with his daughter as she transitions into womanhood. Is Walt Disney bad for not performing fatherhood the way he's advertised? Here, Hnath allows audiences to closely depict whether Walt's presentation of masculinity and fatherhood is performative or just human. These two concepts are cleverly merged together by Hnath, making us question if performance and humanity are any different from each other. The play comes full circle in this final scene, with Walt repeating his opening monologue. Only this time, he realises the consequences of his previous actions, worrying this may lead to him being forgotten. No longer satisfied with creating entertainment, Walt is determined to leave his imprint on reality itself. With this in mind, I have chosen for my actors to take down the Walt Disney posters that were emphasised at the beginning, finally revealing the reality behind the persona Walt had created for himself. To summarise, I have explored how Lucas Hnath is unmasking Walt Disney's public persona as a beloved figure through a close look at his misaligned performance of masculinity and fatherhood. Therefore, in conclusion, Hnath has presented these themes to be misaligned, dramatising them to contradict masculine gender norms and traditional fatherhood dynamics. Even though Disney was an idolised public figure, shining light on the lives of families across America, he was still a man pressured by society's expectations of masculinity and the effects this had on him as a father. Walt said, "You can't let nature run wild," and yet Walt Disney has inspired Lucas Hnath to run wild in his own retelling of Walt's story. Before I share my final scene, I want to take a moment to thank my incredible cast, Charlie Gaskin playing Walt, Pippin Allright playing Roy, Emma Newman playing daughter, Áine Lawrence playing Ron Miller and for being my assistant director, and finally Louisa for being my last minute tech support. You've all been amazing and I'm truly so proud of all of you. And finally, thank you to Lenny and Dana and all of you for being here today. On that note, please enjoy my final scene from a public reading of an unproduced screenplay about the death of Walt Disney.
Hello? Hello, wife! Yeah, it's me, Walt! What are you doing? Oh, okay, no, I'm just calling, wondering where you, oh, I see, okay, cut to! Doing fine, thinking about, do you know what I like about you? I like remembering how we first met, you drawing for me, working for me. Loved the way you drew the things I thought of, liked how, cut to! And I like that when I first met you, you were working for me, because then if you married me, that must mean you really liked working for me, and, cut to! Hey, so, I wanted to talk to you about something. Thinking about future. I heard of, there's this guy in Irving. He freezes bodies. He freezes, well, just the head, and no, it's not gross, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, it's cut to. Not that I'm dying anytime soon. Cut to. Not that I'm dying anytime. Cut to. Not that, cut to. No, I just, cut to! Okay, well, just think about it. No, that's fine. Don't worry about it. Daughter's gonna name her kid after me. Okay. Bye. Interior hospital. Nighttime. Interior hospital. What kind of hospital? Secret hospital. Secret. No one knows where I am. Secret hospital. And Walt in a bed, hooked up to, hard to move with, Walt attached to all these machines. Shit. Cut to, daughter enters, asks.
Are you comfortable?
He wiggles his toes. He wiggles his toes.
Oh, ain't it?
Cut to!
Disappeared in.
How?
Did I?
No.
You were here?
Nods yes.
This.
Close on.
Found a long trail of these.
Leading.
From there to here.
Oh. A cut to. Please don't tell anyone about.
You?
A cut to.
Why can't
You tell?
anyone?
Important because
You'll
lose
what?
control.
Of your
City. Cut to.
I sort of
What?
did.
Tell? Who?
Yes.
A cut to.
Mom
Cut to.
and Ron
Cut to.
and Ron,
He.
I think,
He.
told the board.
Cut to. Shit. Cut to. Fuck.
I
Cut to.
really.
Don't.
Sorry, I told people that you're dying. I just thought can't really change
Everyone.
how I feel.
Of course I can.
You
I can be sick.
doesn't mean I.
Cut to. Cut to.
You
Don't.
don't live well with people. More like a god than a person.
Oh, that's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me.
I'm not there.
Thank you. He wiggles his toes. Thank you. He wiggles. Cut to Roy! Haha!
Feeling
Remorse!
better.
Oh, he's sorry, folks.
Things with the wife.
Worse!
Better.
Oh, cut to!
Think she likes me again.
Cut to!
Touches me again.
Close on Walt.
Think we love each other
Machines
again.
attached.
Just.
Close on the tubes.
I want
And his heart
something.
stops! Close on Walt. Close on Walt's head. Severed head. Freeze the head. Walt is just ahead. Close on Walt's head in freeze, frozen. And we cut to Roy. And Roy cries.
Roy doesn't cry.
Roy cries, everyone cries. Wife cries, daughter cries, Ron cries, and guess what? There's even a dog. That's right, folks, and even the dog cries. Everyone cries. And then they just stop. And they do nothing. Because that's what happens right now that I'm gone, the world has just stopped. Now that I'm gone, no one does anything anymore. Because everyone's waiting for me to return, and everyone's waiting for me to defrost and show them the way, and Walt is happy, and Walt is doing good, and he's doing better than he's ever been doing, and he's smarter than he's ever been, and he's greater than he's ever been, and everyone misses him, and it is a real slow fade.
Well done, Harriett. That was really good.